This area, Decatur and Flamingo, you walk around long enough by yourself, you'll end up shitting stuff you didn't eat around this area. I'm from Salt Lake City originally. Nobody gives a shit. I was thinking about this on my way down here from Salt Lake. I actually used to live here in Vegas a few years ago, and I didn't really have very many friends when I first lived down here. I was kind of a loner to begin with. And out of this just desperate, sad, pathetic need to connect to somebody else, I would go and run into somebody from Utah. I'd see their driver's license. I'd say, "Oh, Utah, you're from Utah," as if it was some of this long, distant planet from miles away. But that's the way I think. I have to connect to somebody, even though I have social anxiety. I went to my therapist about that this year. I said I creep people out. I need to not do that. She says, "I have a solution for you." She went inside her drawer. She pulled out a bottle of Canadian Hunter whiskey. She said, "All really at this point, all you can do is drink." Have you seen that stuff, Canadian Hunter whiskey? It's a wild man's drink. It's like the ocean. You must learn how to respect it. Just ask Amelia Earhart. Too soon? Anyways, back to how my dad didn't hug me as a kid. I found my litmus test on how you know you're depressed. You know you're depressed when you're sitting home by yourself on a Friday night watching an entire season of Burn Notice. That's what it is, man. Like, and depression's like this shitty deadbeat cousin that can't get their shit together. They stay out, "Can I crash your place for the weekend, man?" And that weekend turns it into an entire month and it just doesn't go away. It's annoying, man. You can't get anything productive done either. Like even the will to masturbate's weak when you're depressed. I'll get all romantic with myself. Take myself out to a nice steak dinner, light some candles, and put on that lesbian sex scene from Black Swan on repeat. And nothing. I just end up drinking a box of wine and gobbling Xanax like I'm at a buffet and I pass out. See how it's what I got here? I don't know, man. Maybe I'm not attracted to myself because I'm getting fat. I'm simultaneously tall, skinny, and fat at the same time. I need to either like lose the weight or I need to become really fat so I can be that fucking funny fat guy everybody likes. I'd be like the Chris Farley from Salt Lake City. Instead of all the hooker and women that want to blow me. I don't know, but this isn't working. It's like this just gelatinous mass of failure and regret right here. I look like a fucking bridge troll. I even learned I was kind of getting fat when I was even learning when I was getting fat when I lived with my ex-girlfriend. And she said, I told her, it's like, "Hey, babe, can you stop putting all my clothes on the hot setting? You're shrinking all my clothes." She said, no, babe, you're just getting fat." Oh, geez, perhaps maybe you could have bullshitted me. And I'm hairy too, that doesn't work out. I look like a piece of gum that you dropped on the floor that picked up all the dirt and crumbs. Segue. Does asking the government for permission to earn a living piss you off as much as it pisses me off? It seems like you have to get a license for everything nowadays. Yeah. Woo! I was a security guard for 2 years. Yeah, you know what I did as a security guard? I sat on my ass, I jerked off and ate Cheetos. And I watched my dick turn orange as a process. You have to have a license to cut hair, wax pussy, sell insurance, and if you're a mortician, you have to have a license as well, money plays. Did you know that? What are they gonna do? What are they gonna certify, that you're not a necrophiliac? Like, how is that scenario gonna go down? Well, I was gonna go down on this dead chick's muff, but because the Occupational Licensing Board says I can't, I'm gonna take the moral high ground on this issue. What are you gonna do? And they'll even argue at me too. "Well, Stefan, licensing keeps us safe." Oh, really, douchebag? The same way that a driver's license keeps you from crashing your car after a DUI? It's only $50, Stefan, you're making a big deal. That's saying like you got the shit kicked out of you by a bunch of skinheads, and you said, weren't that aggressive about it. I don't know, man. You need a driver's license to drive a car. I need a car. Started dating recently, even though I think meeting new people is stupid. I mean, really, all the end of the day, you only meet somebody to procreate. That's like what you're biologically wired to do. I mean, the sex is kind of disgusting. It smells like somebody just took off their socks, really. And like masturbation, that's even more disgusting. Like, have you ever walked into a room seeing somebody masturbating? Like, if you see somebody vomit, you want to throw up a little bit yourself, right? You see somebody masturbate, it does not inspire masturbation yourself. So, I mean, like, you look at the dick. It looks like an invasive species of sea barnacle that attaches itself to a side of a ship. Like, ladies, if you weren't biologically wired to have sex, would you fucking even put that thing near your mouth? Let's be honest. And then the vagina that looks, if you had no knowledge of the female anatomy whatsoever and you walked into a room and saw a woman spread eagle, you'd say, holy shit, she's been shot. Somebody call an ambulance. It's like a fucking hatchet wound. And once a month, that thing spews blood, bad feelings, and uterine lining, which sounds fancy. It sounds like something you'd get at Macy's. Oh, do you see my new jacket? It's a 1,000-count uterine lining. I can tell you what I paid for it, but you can't afford it. Anyways, back to my car. I become unintentionally creepy through dating. I'll give you an example. I went shooting with my friends recently. We went out the deserts in Utah. And along the way, I talk to my friends, and he asks me, where are we going? I tell him it's a surprise. So he writes help backwards in the passenger window as a joke. We're all sitting there laughing. Here's the problem. I forgot to wash my windows. Later that night, I go on out a date. I pick her up. And we're driving along, and she says, did somebody write help in your window? And I look over with this Ted Bundy-like voice and say, oh, yeah. And then I just turn my attention back on the road, offering no explanation whatsoever. I mean, even so, it's like I even have friends that have pawned their female friends off to us, my friends and I. And when I say my friends and I just mean my friends. I mean, and I have to, I get a little defensive about it. I said, come on, I'm not that bad. Which still means I have to qualify myself as bad. At this rate and the way I'm going with my health, I look like I have the sex appeal of an Alaskan pipeline oil spill. Leave you guys out on this. I recently saw a couple bumper stickers that just make me cringe. Like, what is it in our narcissistic society that we have to, tell everybody about ourselves a little bit? Like, nobody gives a shit about your political cause. Just stop it. Or your family with all the stick figures. It's enough. The first bumper sticker it says, I vote and I have a dog. I can't make this shit up. I vote and I have a dog. Like, who are you threatening? The Republican Party? And the thing is, you can't just get this out, you can't just go to 7-Eleven and get this bumper sticker. They had to get this custom ordered. I mean, and then some small kid in some third world country had it for making 80 cents an hour, had to make it, only to grow up and join the cartels, probably was beheaded. But hey, enjoy your freedom of expression, you douchebag. The other bumper sticker I saw recently, it says, try Jesus. Try Jesus. How pretentious of a statement is that? Try Jesus. Let me tell you something. Don't give people advice when you're driving a 1989 Dodge Dart with Bondo on the fender after you got your second DUI and your CPS took away your kids. At least that's what I think what happened. Hey, thank you so much, guys. I'm Stephen Reed.